I think the president broadcast yesterday, if we listen to it carefully, I think what he said was actually welcoming development because if you look at the situation, I do not think we are in a place where we can be able to lift the lockdown. But of course, today the situation in this country is becoming a bit worrisome because the numbers kept increasing. And of course, there are some states, particularly Kano State, Lagos State, and even the FCT. If you look at the situation, I do not think they have enough testing in those states. And if you cannot test the people, you hardly can be able to discover the problem, talk less of solving the problem. So I think the present decision to maintain the lockdown for another 1 week is the right thing to do. And of course, there are other states also who have taken similar decision, like Kaduna State and many other states. And I think the position they have taken so far is a good position because we do not have enough testing centers. If you look at a state like Kano State, they do not even have one single testing center in Kano. And of course, apart from Lagos State, the FCT, and 1 or 2 states, most of these states do not have a testing center. And if we cannot test people, we cannot be able to be sure of the correct number of the people that are infected. And of course, we also are worried because we have been able to notice community transmission now, which is for us very, very scary. Because when we started to discover that community transmission is higher now, then the government must be very careful, and we have to extend the lockdown so that we can be able to slow down the infection transmission. Because if we don't lock down the people and try as much as possible to improve the social distancing, then the problem will escalate. And at this material time, I do not think we have what it takes to manage the situation at this moment.
I'm glad you spoke about Kano. That is a tipping time bomb we have in this context, given the population size. As a federal lawmaker from the northern part of the country, what do you think, in your opinion, how can we manage this crisis in Kano?
No, I think the situation in Kano, for me, if I want to be very blunt, the Kano state government were a bit late in tackling the situation. Because Kano State, considering the population of Kano State, I believe they should have locked down the state 3 or 4 weeks ago. Just when Kaduna State locked down, the Kano State should have also, they should have taken the same position. If you look at the situation in Kano today, because it's a state that has so much population, and the people are highly not sensitized about the danger associated with this pandemic. That is the reason why I believe there are 2 factors. 1, they acted very late. 2, there was no adequate publicity or sensitization. And the people, from what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, as a neutral, I believe the government have not taken decisive action when it's supposed to take. But at this moment, I think it's not late. But they will need to do a lot of work because Kano State, right now, if we are not careful, might be the epicenter.
So when you say they need to do a lot of work, specifically what do you mean? What kind of work?
What they need to do at this material time is that, yes, there's a lockdown taking place at the moment, but at least we don't even have one functional testing center in Kano. And I think what we need to do, we need to try as much as possible to at least have testing centers in every local government in Kano State. Because the fear is that I believe there's already community transmission in Kano State at the moment. And of course, if you are familiar with the situation of Kano, it's a state that's densely populated. A lot of people live in the same place, and of course, that will be a very serious crisis if we don't tackle the situation at this material time, because in the last 3 or 4 days, we do not even had any report from Kano because they are not testing anybody. So, of course, the danger is that a lot of people are transmitting this disease without being detected. So that's the problem. So, I mean, a lot of work has to be done, and the government must be extremely responsible. And, of course, the federal government needs to support the state now. And I think I would like to call on the well-meaning people from Kano State in particular to channel a lot of resources in supporting the people there. Because in Kano State, one of the major problems they are complaining is poverty level. It's very high. And a lot of people are unemployed. Most of the people in Kano have to work and earn their living on a daily basis. And I believe if you want to lock them down for a very long time, which I believe they must be locked down for a very, very long time, you need to support them, particularly the downtrodden. And I'm happy that Kano State have some of the richest men in this country, not even Nigeria and Africa. And this is the time for them to go and support the people of Kano State. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.